The other side of the ball, they didn't play terribly. Like, they had some effective runs. Overall, it wasn't great. I think they were under 4 yards per carry running. Seth Hennigan, not an incredible game again, but decently efficient. Yeah, he took care of the ball in this game, didn't throw any interceptions. I think he was 21 of 29. 239 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So pretty efficient game, nothing spectacular. I think overall for me, and this is what I'm concerned about, is are they keeping it vanilla because they played 2 bad opponents, or is it just a very basic offense? Like, will there be any creativity to this offense this year?
I think that in the pass game, they have the tendency to get creative. Like that RPO to Toski is fun, like wide open. They try to throw wrinkles at you like that. I think the pass concepts will be great, but I hate to be this guy. I'd go with the latter. I don't know if there's a lot of creativity in the run game.
Yeah.
Tim Cramsey hasn't shown it.
No.
He hasn't shown it. And Ryan, you know, you don't think you would run into things like this having an O-line coach who was so successful at really setting up the O-lines I played on, and right after I left when Mike was still here, all those lines just switched up concepts, running the ball. They'd get under center. They'd run traps. They'd run, you know, sort of duos, if you will, straight up on, you know, not a zone, but just sort of man-blocking concepts. They'd run counter. They'd run You don't see any of that. It's inside zone, inside zone, inside zone, outside zone, inside zone, inside. It's just consistently out of the shotgun, handing a running back and in between the tackles and saying go. It's not working. You have to switch things up and give the defense a different look. And I don't think that Tim Cramsey's shown any level of tendency to do that. And I guess if you want to hold out hope, you could do your first thought there. Maybe they're keeping it vanilla because they want to save it for Mizzou. They want to save it for this stretch of good teams they're going to play. But I think based on the sample size that we saw last year, Tim Cramsey, this is his MO. Keep it very simple, inside zone, run it up the middle.
Yeah, and to me, the question was with Tim Cramsey coming into this season, it was, what does he do with dynamic running backs? Because the last couple of years, they've had some decent players, but not guys that were burners or that were outside runners. They had guys that were made to kind of run up the middle. That was, you know, Jay Ducker and Asa Martin and these guys.
Brandon Thomas.
Yeah, Brandon Thomas. They were more guys that were going to be more effective in between the tackles. But with Sutton Smith and Blake Watson, those are guys that can get out in space and create plays. And I do like the fact that they're throwing them the ball. They're getting them the ball in space there. But as far as running the ball and the running schemes, they're just not – they're not getting them in space. They're just ramming it up the middle. I mean, Blake Watson had 20 carries for 51 yards in this game.
There's just no inventiveness.
No.
And there hasn't been since Ryan took over, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, just to create lack of creativity.
Yeah, and it's just it's frustrating in a lot of ways. And, you know, I guess the thought there would be you have to have the guys, even if you're going to differentiate schemes, you have to have the guys to be able to understand that and do what they're told and play their role within those schemes. And maybe they don't have the confidence in those guys to get that done, but still, I think you need to provide different looks because it makes the defense work and use their eyes and get uncomfortable sometimes. And they're just not doing that. They're just not doing that.